I'm Judith Cassell-Mamet. Welcome to the 5th video tutorial for adventure journaling. I'd like to just take a second and explain why I use that term adventure journaling, which really isn't all that different from the other terms you've heard: mixed media journaling, visual journaling, art journaling. It's all the same. The difference for me is I use adventure journaling for two reasons. The first is just to explain my approach to the journal page. I enjoy that whole freedom of exploration, as if I am on an adventure with my materials. I really do try to just not put up any expectations and just kind of go for it like I'm on a true adventure. And the second reason I use that term is because while I know I would love to be journaling on a beach in Spain somewhere, the fact is that if I wait until these perfect moments to journal, I'll never get a chance to work with my creative energy. So if I look at all the mundane parts of my life and try to make them into an adventure, then I do find that I have more to work with and just a whole lot more fun with this whole process. So I'd like to show you today how to shape your pages so that you just get another tool to play with. The easiest technique when thinking about shaping your page is to just simply rip a page off. Now, in this case, I'm just taking the page and folding it and then getting kind of a deckled edge as I'm ripping this page. And I might let that just go into a free form like that. There's a ripped page, nothing to it. I could hold it against another page here and use some chalk to add some color. Now, I've shown in a different video tutorial, I've shown how to use these chalks. In this case, I'm just going to take a little bit of color and swipe it across the page. I'll continue all the way up, and you can see that I'll get that stencil effect on the page behind. That's the easiest way to rip the page. In this case, I have already ripped that page. I might decide to get this one just slightly bigger so that the pages come across as if they're graduated. And I can just rip that off or use a pair of scissors, and now I have a graduated effect, that page being slightly smaller than this. Here's an example where I ripped the page. You can see the deckled edge there. Then I set it against the page behind it. I did a journal entry, writing across, and then I used the chalks. When I lifted it up, I went ahead and just popped in a couple of little images back in here. But that's how that ripped page works. This is on a journal that I recently finished, where I really like that deckled edge, so I decided to put that on the cover as well. Another way to shape your page is to get something on the page and then take a pair of scissors and cut around the image. In this case, I did a monoprint directly onto the page. I took my scissors and cut around it. As I was cutting around it, I realized there was part of the monoprint was lifting off above the image, and I just went ahead and made that into a little bird. So I cut all the way around the bird. Then I added the feather behind it and the little bit of doily that you see from the spread behind it. So you can rip freehand or you can cut around the whole shape. Here's an example where I predetermined the cut shape. I took a pencil and drew these large petal shapes on this page. Then I took my scissors and cut around them. Once that was done, I just simply collaged some material on there and then went into the whole journal page on both sides, kind of playing with that shape. Here's an example of one that I've got started. So again, I drew with a pencil these petal shapes and cut them out of this page. Then I held my page down and used chalks. Then I decided to do the same thing on
yet another page. So I pre-cut that. This hasn't been worked on yet. I will go into it sometime in the next couple of weeks and get that up on my website so you can see where this goes. I purposely made the pages not the same size so that I would be able to see them one behind the other.
So there were some simple techniques for shaping your page on your mixed media visual art adventure journal. I hope you'll check out my website for additional images of examples. I have a newsletter if you'd like. Just sign up on my website. I hope you enjoyed.